Hello folks, welcome back to Collecting Elton. I'm happy to be well and in front of the camera again. So by now I'm sure you've heard the great news that Elton has a new studio album scheduled for release on April 4th. More accurately, it's an Elton John and Brandi Carlile album, a collaboration project much like Elton and Leon Russell's 2010 album, The Union. The new album's called Who Believes in Angels. I love that title. The album was recorded in the fall of 2023, and the album's standard release will contain 10 tracks. This album is not Elton and Brandi's first collaboration. They recorded a track together for Elton's 2021 album, The Lockdown Sessions, and Elton provided backing vocals and piano on parts of Brandi's Give Up the Ghost album, which was released way back in 2009. Elton, Brandi, and producer Andrew Watt recorded this new album at Sunset Sound in Los Angeles. And if any of the behind-the-scenes sessions footage we've seen looks familiar, that may be because Sunset Sound was where, well over 40 years ago, Elton recorded tracks with French pop star France Gall, a two-day session in April 1980, which also included the superb Nigel Olsson on drums, one of Elton's first sessions with Olsson after Olsson's departure from the band in 1974. So back to Elton and Brandi. One track from the new album was released at Christmas, Never Too Late, which doubled as the title track for the documentary of the same name. And just a few weeks ago, the new album's title track, Who Believes in Angels, also appeared as a single. But I'm not here to review those new songs. What I cover in this episode is what we know so far, or rather what I've been able to find out so far, about physical releases of this new album, formats and editions, their availability, and most particularly which editions will be exclusives. As of today, I've counted at least 12 different editions of this new album currently available for pre-order around the world. And of those 12, at least 8 will be in some way limited, either by territory and or by retailer. Now, just a disclaimer, the information I'm about to go over is the result of my own online research, and my access to retail information outside of Canada isn't without its limits, so this video could contain errors, omissions, or inaccuracies. In fact, it probably does. Before you pre-order or commit money to any product, be sure to verify for yourself what it is you're buying and what its availability is in your territory. And in coming months, feel free to leave comments on this video with corrections, updates, and or additional information. That would be most welcome. So let's begin with the vinyl. At least 6 different vinyl editions of the new album have been announced, beginning with the limited tricolor vinyl edition, which includes 10 songs, and what I call the pinball machine sleeve, which I guess is the standard cover art for the album. This edition's major selling point is the tricolor vinyl, which subdivides into blue, red, and yellow. This edition was available for pre-order just about everywhere that I looked, at least here in North America. So although it's called limited, I don't think it'll be that difficult to get, at least not on the album's day of release. Next is the Spotify Fans First Blue Splatter Vinyl Edition, which appears to be an exclusive and comes with the standard 10 songs and pinball machine sleeve, so its unique selling point is the Splatter Vinyl LP. It seems that Spotify will at some point use this edition in their Fans First Rewards program. It is, after all, called the Spotify Fans First Edition. But it also appears that Universal will make this available for general purchase in some territories, which is rather nice of them. It's currently available, for example, for pre-order at umusic.ca, Universal's Canadian online store, and a fellow collector told me just last week that Universal's US online store also stocks it. The next vinyl edition on my list is one I found for sale only in the UK, and that's the limited pink Spyro vinyl edition with standard 10 tracks and pinball machine cover art. If anyone spots copies of this edition for pre-order or for sale anywhere in North America, please let me know in the comments. Next is what Universal calls a store-exclusive vinyl edition with standard 10 tracks, but with a purple marble vinyl LP and alternate sleeve art. This sleeve design is being called, in some territories, the Neon Angel cover. I found listings for this edition on umusic.ca, the eltonjohn.com US store, and on US, Canadian, and UK Amazon stores. I cannot seem to access the eltonjohn.com UK store here in Canada, so anyone with access to that shop, please update us on what's available there, and my thanks in advance. The second last vinyl edition on my list goes by 2 different names depending on the territory. In the United States, this edition is called the Coke Bottle Green Vinyl Edition, and it will be a Target store exclusive. I found it available in the UK on HMV's UK website, listed there as an exclusive, only there it's called the Aqua Vinyl Edition. And so, my fellow Canadians, what does this mean for us? If we have no Target stores anymore, and HMV brick-and-mortar stores all disappeared a few years ago, will this Aqua Vinyl Edition be available anywhere here in Canada? Well, we still have HMV.ca, and we also have its parent company, Sunrise Records, which operates a chain of mall format stores. And in the past, releases that were HMV exclusives in the UK were made available in Canada through Sunrise Records, so I'm hoping that we may be able to get the Aqua Vinyl Edition that way. That said, as of this morning, neither Sunrise nor HMV.ca's online catalogs list anything, so that may not happen after all. The last vinyl edition on my list has already become the most exclusive of any edition of this album on any format. And that's, you guessed it, the UK Blood Records Colored Vinyl Edition, which went up for pre-sale sometime within the last 2 weeks. There were 2,000 of these available. They've all been spoken for. The Blood Records site's already sold out. I had no idea there was even going to be a Blood Records edition of this album, so no, I did not get one. And I'm not sure I would have had I known in time about these Blood Records editions. I have nothing against the idea of a Blood Records limited release of any album, never mind an Elton John album, but I'll explain more about that towards the end of this episode. Now let's talk about the CD editions, of which I found 5. First is the standard CD issue, single disc in a jewel case with the standard 10 tracks and the pinball machine cover art. This edition was available just about everywhere that I checked, at least here in North America. Now there are 2 versions of this single disc CD. You have the version with the standard compact disc, and then, only in Japan, Universal's releasing an SHM-CD version. So if you buy into the SHM aspect of SHM-CDs, which I don't, then you may want to get one of these. Next is the Amazon exclusive CD edition, single disc in a jewel case with the standard 10 tracks, but with the alternate Neon Angel artwork. I found listings for this alternate single disc CD edition on US, Canadian, and UK Amazon sites, but not through any other retailer. It is, after all, called the Amazon exclusive CD edition. Next is perhaps the most generous of all the optical disc options, and that's the limited clamshell box CD-DVD edition, which is exactly as it sounds. It includes 1 CD with the 10 album tracks, plus a bonus DVD that contains, among other content, behind-the-scenes footage, plus a bonus track. Now again, that bonus track is on the DVD, not the CD. But so far, the clamshell box is the only edition of the new album that I can find on any format that includes bonus tracks, and in this case, it's just 1 track. But that's better than nothing. I found this edition for pre-order on the eltonjohn.com US store, on umusic.ca, and on the US, UK, and Canadian Amazon sites. Now there's one more optical disc option on my list, and that's Universal Japan's version of the clamshell box edition, which is pretty much the same as the clamshell box everywhere else, except the Japanese version comes with, as usual, an obi, extra Japanese lyric booklet, and instead of a standard CD, it includes the album on an SHM-CD. So it's an SHM-CD/DVD combo. And for those of you who may not be familiar with SHM-CDs, in this video's description I've linked to a helpful resource that I think in plain language explains that. Again, although I do own SHM-CDs, personally I don't believe that SHM-CDs are materially any superior to standard CDs, but you may read about the format through that link anyway. So just 2 more things before I wrap this up. First, there will be a cassette edition of the new album, which I've found listed for pre-order on umusic.ca in Canada and eltonjohn.com in the US. I'm not a big fan of cassettes, so I may skip this edition, but then again I may not. I think cassettes sound horrible, but if I buy this new album on cassette, it would be the first new Elton album since the one that I've purchased on cassette at time of release, so I may just get one for nostalgia reasons. The other thing I found was the album's first single, Never Too Late, which, as I said, was released last Christmas as the theme to the Never Too Late documentary. I didn't cover that single's release on this channel because at the time I couldn't find a physical copy of Never Too Late for sale anywhere, and this channel focuses as much as possible on collecting physical releases. But I've since learned that the single did get a physical release, and if the Discogs entry I found is accurate, the Never Too Late single was released in the UK as a 7-inch purple vinyl single on Mercury, and it appears to have been a promo-only release. Its B-side was a short interview with Brandi Carlile. I don't have a copy, and it looks like getting one might be near impossible at this point, but oh well. That's the fun of collecting, isn't it? So, which versions have I pre-ordered? None. So far, I must admit, I'm feeling kind of gun-shy with this one, and it really has to do with, I think it's the sheer amount of physical content being made available all at once. I don't think a new Elton John album has ever been released on its day of release in a series of different editions, formats, and variants this extensive. Now, no one's forcing me or anyone else to buy each one of them, certainly not. But it's no secret either that record companies now launch these physical variant extravaganzas, knowing that many physical format buyers are often collectors too, and many of those collectors tend to be completists. To get all 12 of the editions that I've covered in this video would cost me, with international shipping included for those overseas exclusives, probably about $1,000 Canadian. I don't know. That's a lot of money to spend on copies of a new album by anybody, never mind Elton John. I could take half that amount and get myself Speaker's Corner, Yellow Brick Road, and still have lots of money left over. I know this channel is called Collecting Elton, but in my mind it doesn't make sense for someone of my economic situation to spend so much money on so many different versions of an album I haven't even heard yet. So I think I'm going to approach this one slowly. But I will at least pre-order the tricolor vinyl edition, the exclusive purple vinyl edition with alternate neon angel artwork, and the CD-DVD clamshell box. If I actually like the album, I may go into a phase 2 strategy and see if I can get some of the other editions. But even then, I'll probably have to live without owning every last version out there, and that's fine. Either way, for now, I'm pumped about this new album, and I look forward to hearing it. Which versions will you pre-order, or have you pre-ordered? Were there any editions that I've missed in my video? Let me know in the comments. And until next time, take care, and remember to click like and subscribe. And thank you very much.